Hey everybody, this is Collector Dude. I want to do a video of this. I haven't looked at and listened to all the recordings of Stanley, but I wanted to wait until I did it on my channel here. So I found two of these at half-price books. Stanley's Amazing Marvel Universe. Listen to Stanley comment on 50 legendary Marvel moments by Roy Thomas, audio commentary by Stanley. This book is awesome. So just from what I've listened to already, about 3 or 4 recordings that he made, it's really cool. So if you love Stanley and Marvel Comics and stuff like that, and hear him talk about all the different great artists, Jack Kirby and all the different other ones that he's worked with, this is a cool book if you can find. I found, like I said, I found 2 of them. I found one for $6 last year, and I found this one this year for $10 at half-price books, at 2 different half-price books. I see them online going for $80, $50, $20, $10. They're all over the place on eBay. So I just think they're really cool. I'd like to get another one. If I get a third one, I'm going to use it for a giveaway. But or even if I find one online that's not too expensive, I'll use it for a giveaway. I got to get this next pop contest going. I got enough likes on it, so I'm going to have the drawing coming up this weekend. I think I have to wait till this weekend, so I'm going to be doing some different videos until then. But I'm going to have the pop contest drawing, everything, and see who won. And then I'm going to have another one. If I can find another one of these books, I think I will give one away. If I don't do that right away, I'll do some other stuff before then, because I'm trying to get up to 600 subscribers, and you guys are supporting me and helping me out, and it's working really nice. I'm up to like 553 or 54 subscribers now. This is really fun. I love doing this. So I hope you guys like this. So I'm gonna quit talking and get on with the book. But this is a book where it shows different pages, and it talks about different superheroes. So that's the cover of. This is the inside of it here. And here's the recording thing where you the recorder player, where you push the buttons and everything and go through all the different numbers. I think he's made about 60 recordings, but let's jump over so you can see. Here's the inside cover page here. Stanley's Amazing Marvel Universe by Roy Thomas, audio commentary by Stan Lee. Then all the different stuff over here, who printed it up and everything. 2006 and stuff in the printing numbers. And then it explains here how to run the player. All you need to know to hear Stan. All the different stuff that you have to do. It's pretty cool. So here, like I said, there's so many of them. Look at the Stanley's 50 Great Marvel Moments. There's 4 by Stanley on page 7, but then there's like 1, 2, he's going from Captain America foils to Traitors Revenge. And then like there's a little bit something what they say, what he's starting off to talk about. And then Fing Fang Foom, the Fantastic Four, 3 and 4. Look at all the different recordings that he made. Coming to the Hulk, Meet Dr. Doom, Spider-Man, Thor the Mighty, and the Stone Men from Saturn. The end of the Fantastic Four. Look, it's just so many. I was like, wow, this is going to be so cool to go through all of these. And I think it's like 60 of them that he made. So let me flip through that. You can see all the different numbers here. And all the different things he's going to comment on. There's 54 here. And then you see these. Maybe more. Wow, it's more than that. 67. And then Thematic Favorites. Different things he's talked about. There's 68 signs off. So it's like he made 68 recordings. Or they just got them from, I don't know if they specifically made them for this book, or they just got them from recordings and interviews that he's made, because you know he's done a lot of interviews. I'd love to see one of these on Jack Kirby as well, if he could do his voice, because there's a lot of stuff on YouTube with his recording and stuff. Neil Adams, just think about all the different artists and writers. Todd McFarlane, just everybody. George Perez, wow. Well, here's a Ford by, like he said, he wants to, let's talk about comic books and everything, all the different stuff that he's talked about and everything, what he wants to say about comics and what he did and things that he's done that's different than other companies, things that he did that he thought that he wanted to try to do, stuff that he had to do to stick with what the editor wanted. But once he was able to do his own thing, he tried it and never looked back. but he did really well and making people like the characters and becoming personable with them. Everything, the way he thought, the way he created stories and storylines, and the way he talks about like making bubble balloons, like thought balloons, where people thought some of the characters, and to make you get more familiar with them and understand them. Talked about how he worked with Jack Kirby, and how great Kirby's artwork was and everything, and how he loved writing for his stuff. But it's just really cool, all the different other people that he's worked with as well. But then you like see a little spot from Spider-Man story. And you got over here, you got Fantastic Four. Let's get into this part here. So I know you want to see this. This one's Captain America foils. Moment 1, Captain America foils the Traitors' revenge. And then you got Captain America's cover here, number 3. Look at that. And then we got Captain America Comics, number 3, May 1941. Naturally, the greatest wish of nearly everybody who lands a job in comics industry is to get a chance to write and or draw the story for publication. And 18-year-old Stanley Lieber was no exception. Stan needed a job when he graduated from DeWitt Clinton High School in the Bronx. His uncle Robbie Solomon told him there might be an opening at the publishing company where he worked, and where Stan was also related to the publisher Martin Goodman by marriage. Stan contacted the man who did the hiring, who just happened to be Joe Simon, one half of the fantabulous comic book team of Simon and Kirby, the latter being the illustrious Jack Kirby, and soon became a gopher, working for $8 a week. Wow. The company was expanding by leaps and bounds in the wake of the success of Marvel Mystery Comics and Simon and Kirby's creation, Captain America. And soon Stan got his big break, a chance to write a 2-page text story for the 3rd issue of Captain America Comics. The first 2 issues of Captain America Comics had contained text stories called Captain America and the Soldier's Soup, and Captain America and his boy pal Bucky in Short Circuit, neither with a credit for the person who wrote them. When Stan turned in his effort, though, it had a byline by Stan Lee. Why the pseudonym? Stanley Lieber was saving his real name for some future date when he would write a novel or go into journalism. So he took his first name, cut it in half, and came up with Stan Lee. He may not have wanted his actual name attached, but he took those text stories seriously. Joe Simon, in his book The Comic Book Makers, jokingly says that to Stan, they were the great American novel. So we'll go down to this part. Let's see. The great American novel, Cap style. In Stan's debut piece, a lowlife named Lou Haynes is told by the camp's Colonel Stevens that he's going to be dishonorably discharged from the army. He vows revenge and returns at night armed with thugs to carry out his threat, only to run afoul of Captain America and sidekick Bucky. Cap finds Haynes a tough customer, but finally overcomes him with a right fist to the jaw, and finds that young Bucky has corralled both his henchmen. Along the way, Stan coins a few epithets for Cap: the Red, White, and Blue Knight, and the American Avenger. Kind of ironic considering that 23 years later, Stan would induct Cap into a group of Marvel heroes called the Avengers. Captain America foils the Traitors' revenge had transformed Stanley Lieber into Stan Lee, and the comic book world would never be the same again. That's cool. When we look up here, I can't reach Bucky in time. I gotta think fast. Crack! And he throws his shield. Captain America's speed of thought in action saves Bucky's life as he hurls his shield across the room. And we got here the first. There's something even more surprising about the text story. When Cap sees that Haynes will plunge a knife into the sleeping colonel's heart before he can stop him, our superhero takes action. With the speed of thought, he sent his shield spinning through the air to the other end of the tent, where it smacked the knife out of Haynes' hand. Well, that's so amazing. What's so amazing about that? Cap has hurled that shield of his zillions of times in the pages of comic books. It's his major shtick. Only thing is, before Stan wrote that little 2-page story in Captain America Comics number 3, he'd never tossed it before. The panel above is from Captain America number 4, the very next issue. Wow. In issue number 1, the shield wasn't round. It was more, well, shield-shaped. And it certainly didn't lend itself to hurling. Even when Cap adopted its round shield in the 2nd issue and on to the 3rd, he used it to ward off bullets and the occasional sword, even to boing more than one sneering Nazi and a kisser. But he had never ever thrown it until young Stanley Lieber, a.k.a. Stan Lee, got the notion to have him do it in number 3's text story. It was perhaps the first Stan Lee first, but it wouldn't be the last. That is cool. Wow. Okay, now we're going to go to this thing here. Captain America Foils, The Traitors' Revenge. There I was in a comic book with my name on it. So we're going to go over here and push this. And there's number 1. So we'll push play.
In those days, the post office had a law saying that the publishers couldn't call a comic magazine a magazine unless it had at least 2 pages of just words without panels. And nobody cared who wrote them because nobody read those pages. The people who bought the books just wanted the comic strips. So when I came to work for, it was called Timely Comics at the time, the first assignment I was given was to write one of those 2-page text pieces. And I wrote something called The Traitors' Revenge, and it was published in Captain America number 3 with my name on it. And oh, I was so proud. I ran home, showed it to all my friends, who never read it probably, but there I was in a comic book with my name on it. I'll never forget that day.
That's cool, huh? I like how they do that. So let's see if let's try another one. Let's go here and see, this one right here is Early Heroes, The Destroyer. Talks about that in Headline Hunter. Foreign Correspondent. Headline Hunter. The Destroyer fighting Nazis till his face turns blue. And we got Jack Frost over here. Story by Stanley. And we got Father Time. Battles, what's that say? Scourge. The Scourge of Crime. So these are all really cool. Like this one, let's see what this one says. As Stan began to make a name for himself in the world of comic books, his name itself often changed. He was credited not only as Stan Lee, but also as S.T. Anley and Neil Natz. Stanley backwards. Wow. And with an added N. As he found his own identity, here are a few others he created for his characters. This is a story by Stan Lee. Wow. The Headline Hunter. Jerry Hunter wasn't a superhero, just a daring reporter who let nothing stand in the way of a scoop, but he rates a mention because the first Headline Hunter tale in Captain America Comics, number 5, July 1941, seems to have been the very first actual comic book scripted by Stan Lee, artist unknown. That's cool. I wonder how much these are going for. Wow. And the Destroyer fighting Nazis till his face turns blue. Stan's most successful superhero concept during the so-called golden age of comics of the 1940s, 1950s was the Destroyer, a character originally drawn by Jack Bender. He made his grand entrance in 2 stories and on the cover in Mystic Comics number 6, December 1941, and starred in a total of 41 Golden Age tales, way more than any other Stan Lee superhero creations pre-1961. The Blue Mask Destroyer's origin story owed a bit to Captain America's. Namely, he gained fantastic athletic powers from a serum given to him by a scientist who died a few seconds later. But unlike virtually any other World War II superhero, he spent his entire career fighting the enemy in Nazi Germany itself. Now that took guts. Wow. The Destroyer. The world now is engaged in a great war, a war which has slain thousands of men, women, and children every day, a conflict which will not cease until either democracy or dictatorship is wiped from the face of the earth. Cool. Wow. There's Jack Frost. No origin story for this guy. After all, he was merely the supernatural ruler of the frozen north, who had complete control over ice and cold. His first curtain call came in USA Comics #1, August 1941, with art by Mike Sikowski. But after 4 issues, he went into cold storage. In the far north, Jack Frost. In the far north, challenging, mysterious, foreboding, the land that no man really knows. In this great frozen waste, surrounded by an eternal deathly quiet, lives a person we have all heard of, but few men have seen. The king of the cold, Jack Frost. Did I hear a human voice? The first time in centuries. A startling figure emerges from the iceberg. That's pretty cool. I guess when you think about, if you can just think of just wild stories right off the cuff, or just think of something and just start writing it. And maybe like things where I made up a whole bunch of different stories when I was a kid. Like $6 Million Man was big back then, and I made up a $6 Million Man story, and I wrote it. I still have it. I'll have to probably show it one time, but it's just cool to see stuff like this. This one's Father Time. Let's see what this one says. This scythe-wielding hero debuted in Captain America Comics #6 on August 1941. After he failed in his race against time to save his father from being executed for a crime he hadn't committed, Larry Scott donned the mantle of Father Time to make time work against criminals in the future. Oddly, this first splash page gives credit for the character's creation to Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, but neither of them ever wrote or drew the series. For poor Father Time, meanwhile, the clock ran out after just 7 issues. Art by Al Avison and Al Gabriel. Wow. I wonder why they did that. I think the next page has another one. Let's see what's on this one. This is cool. Fing Fang Foom. I'll stop here and we'll do them slowly so you can get appreciate each video and everything. I hope you like that and everything. If you want me to read more, I'll continue to keep reading more. I'll try to do some voices and stuff to make it interesting, because I want you to like it and be interested in it, because I listen to my videos as myself, so I can say, okay, I should have did this or I should have did that. I'll do this next time, I'll do that next time, or something like that, and I'll try this. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. But like I said, I'll stop right here and I'll do the next one. There'll be #2. So we'll try to do as many videos as I can, or try to get as many in the same book as possible. But I want to go through this really thoroughly so you can see and appreciate the book, because it's awesome. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think, any suggestions you have, and like I said, just stay tuned for the contest. I'll have the pop contest drawing this weekend. Well, you guys have a great day, and Collected Dude is out.